The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
By the decision of the National Bank of Georgia, advertising of loans secured by pensions is banned without the individual consent of pensioners. In addition, they said the change will apply to those pensioners whose sole income is pension and/or other state social allowance. By the new decision of the NBG, commercial banks will not be able to advertise pension-secured loans, for example, share content that would offer a loan to customers on the basis of pension or other social payments. The purpose of the change is protecting the so-called vulnerable groups from uninformed decision-making and debt burden. This will support the formation of an environment favorable to consumers and introduce a high standard of protecting their rights, NBG said. The National Bank of Georgia reported a 14.1% year-on-year decrease in the volume of funds transferred to Georgia in October, totaling $283 million USD. In contrast, funds transferred from Georgia increased by 0.2% to $31.5 million USD during the same period. According to NBG, the decline in remittances from Russia, down by 79% annually to $62 million USD, contributed significantly to the overall reduction. However, remittances from the USA continued to boom with a 39.2% increase. In the direction of the protection of consumer rights, from November 1st, 2022 to December 1st, 2023, the National Competition Agency has received 509 applications and a case study has been started on 285 applications. During the reporting period, the Competition Agency signed 83 commitment agreements in favor of the consumer on 123 cases. This means the traders have made an obligation to change its internal policy and to restore the rights of those consumers who allegedly suffered damages due to the traders' policy in the past. The agency is actively monitoring the process of fulfillment of obligations taken by the companies. The issue concerning 45 commitment agreements signed in 69 cases has recently been resolved. On December 14 and 15, the leaders of the European Union will meet in Brussels to decide on the enlargement package, which includes 10 countries aspiring to join the EU, including Georgia for the first time. It is a particularly emotional moment for me, Paweł Hrczynski, EU ambassador to Georgia, stated on Sunday. The ambassador emphasized the importance of unity and collaboration to ensure Georgia receives candidate country status. He expressed hope that the positive recommendation will be considered by the 27 EU member states. This is The Checkpoints. I'm Elena Kvanchilashvili, author and the host of the show, and the Checkpoints team is ready to sum up business and economics week for you. Business Media Georgia continues its global expansion strategy, establishing a new bureau in Azerbaijan following its successful venture into the United States of America. In a move signaling BMG's commitment to broadening its international reach, the media powerhouse has inaugurated a representative office in Azerbaijan, further solidifying its presence on the regional stage. The Baku bureau will be headed by journalist Sadruddin Akjayev. BMG's expansion into Azerbaijan signifies a strategic move to cater to a broader audience, providing news about the economy and business of Azerbaijan, Georgia, and the wider region. The news coverage will be made available in English, Turkish, and Russian languages, reflecting BMG's commitment to inclusivity and reaching diverse audiences. Currently, BMG provides news in English, Turkish, and Russian languages, in addition to its native Georgian content. The media outlet boasts a substantial online readership with over 7.4 million unique readers per year, according to Google Analytics data from 2022. This expansion into Azerbaijan marks another significant milestone in BMG's trajectory as it continues to serve as a dynamic and influential player in the global business media landscape. Great news indeed. What else was important in business this week in Georgia? Straight on to Natia Taktakishvili.
Georgi Togonidze, co-founder of hotel management company, declares that the implementation of new project is planned for the development of five-star Paragraph Resort and Spa Shekwetili Hotel in Guria. The executive director of the hotel management company does not specify the details, but notes that the project is created for continuous development. Paragraph Resort and Spa Shekwetili includes 220 rooms and 3 restaurants, but we don't stop there. It means additional infrastructure projects will be implemented. We are adding very interesting spaces in developing the surrounding area, which will be directly integrated with the sea and the forest. We want it to be operational by May. We are adding another indoor pool. No matter what time you arrive at the hotel, you won't get bored because you can get all the services that the hotel can provide you without leaving the hotel, Georgi Togonidze notes. The head of the hotel management company also says that the Paragraph Resort and Spa Shekwetili has become a business card for the Marriott brand international chain, and notes that Paragraph Resort and Spa Shekwetili has the longest pool among 8,000 hotels of the brand chain. Paragraph Resort and Spa Shekwetili is the first 5-star international luxury resort of Georgia, located on the Black Sea shore of Guria region between magnetic sand beachfront and private pine tree forests. Insurance company RD will have new investors by the end of the year. The general director of RD, Mikhail Japaridze, confirms the negotiations on the sale of the company. As Mikhail Japaridze explains, negotiations are held with both international and local investors for a long time. Due to the company's size and regulations on the market, the company needs a more profiled investor, a larger one compared to the current situation, Mikhail Japaridze said. The general director of RD states that the volume of the transactions will be one of the largest in the history of the Georgian insurance market industry, and it will be probably completed by the end of 2023, although he did not specify the investment amount. According to the data, the insurance company RD had an increase in the direction of the collected premiums in 9 months of 2023. The premium rise amounted to 76 million lari instead of 64 million lari in the same period of 2022. A new complex, Chateau Davitiani, was opened in partnership with Bazisbank in Quareli region. Entrepreneur David Chabaloshvili started growing a vineyard in 2016, where he has 3 varieties of wines, Katsiteli, Saperavi and Kahori Mtswane. He decided to build a chateau in the same area in 2018 as part of the expansion plan. With the financial support of Bazisbank, Chateau Davitiani will be ready to welcome visitors in summer of this year. Chateau Davitiani combines traditional Georgian architecture, tower-shaped guest rooms, an outdoor swimming pool, a park of oak trees. The Chateau restaurant offers a wide selection of Georgian and European cuisine. Guests are invited to the Chateau's tasting hall to enjoy the wine made in the cellar. Naturally, it was important for us to have the support of a loyal partner, and that's exactly what Bazisbank was and still is for us, supporting our plans and helping us as we move forward. Again, in partnership with Bazisbank, we have an ongoing project to expand the production, bottling and sale of our wines on both local and international markets, David Chabaloshvili, founder of Chateau Davitiani, said. Mountain resorts are preparing for the opening of season with the approach of the winter. The manager company of Chateau Gudauri, Maiko Murachashvili, talks about this in an interview with BMWG. Although the number of bookings has increased recently, our expectations are still not stable because the biggest player, Israel, has not yet been fully replaced yet, she said. To the question which countries tourists will replace the Israel market, the hotel manager answers. Last year, over 45% of hotel load accounted for Israel tourists. It's not easy to replace it. We receive reservations from Lithuania, Latvia, Armenia, Poland, Ukraine, Nigeria, and even America. We hope that we will be able to receive guests by maintaining high standards, she added. Hotel Roșia Gudauri was opened in 2021, and the hotel has 29 rooms, a restaurant, a spa, and a pool. During this year, Roșia will welcome guests with a renovated restaurant and hot outdoor pool. In addition, the hotel offers its residents a free ride from the hotel to the Gudauri cable car. The meat products and semi-finished products manufacturing company Tserti has opened its fifth branch in Tbilisi, Wake, which will host customers from tomorrow. The founder of Tserti, Beka Gonashvili, told BMZ. Last year we opened 2 branches in December. It turns out that we open a new store at the end of every year. In Wake branch, customers will find both raw and semi-finished meat products, dairy products, and our famous products, says Beka Gonashvili. According to the founder of Tserti, the company will employ 32 people in the new branch. Thus, the total number of employees will increase to approximately 140 persons. The investment value of Wake branch reached 400,000 lari. As Gonashvili explains, the new store's concept is slightly different from the other 4 branches. There will be no internal production in this branch as in other stores. There will only be a sales point, and therefore the investment cost has been relatively less, says Beka Gonashvili. A new branch of Tserti was opened in Wake Taktakishvili Street. In addition, the company has stores in Nadzaladevi district, Tsaltupo, Qazbegi and Tsmeti. Algorum opened the first wine store bar in Orbeliani Market on November 30, 2023. The new facility will combine wine producers as well as small wineries and foreign wines selected specifically for the wine bar. Algorum Shop Bar has a different concept from other stores of the chain because it's focused only on wine and wine products. Customers who come to the facility have the opportunity to taste different types of wine at the bar and relax with friends in a pleasant environment. Georgian local wines as well as foreign wineries from France, Italy, New Zealand and other wine regions are presented in the wine shop bar. Algorum is the largest chain of alcoholic beverages in Georgia, which combines up to 3,000 types of world brands and local alcoholic products. Along with high-quality service, the company is distinguished by the best price and deserves offers in all categories of drinks. New Hotel Dzolubanshi has opened under the management of the Radar company. The hotel started receiving guests in the city of Gori from late November. A space designed with traditional Georgian elements is expecting guests from European countries. Giorgi Sidamonidze, founder and general director of the hotel, and Maya Makhatadze, the founder of the hotel management company Radar, talked about the idea of opening a hotel and its workload with BMZ. The Hotel Dzolubanshi can receive 26 people. Dzolubanshi includes 9 rooms, of which 5 are standards, 3 are suites, and 1 is a room adapted for people with disabilities. In addition, on the first floor there is a restaurant serving authentic Georgian dishes, and on the ground floor there is a standard Georgian wine cellar with traditional Georgian decor and elements, says Maya Makhatadze. The cost of staying in the Hotel Dzolubanshi for per night starts from 125 lari and varies depending on the type of the room and the season. LLC Poultry Georgia, one of the largest producers of eggs and chicken meat in Georgia, has published its financial report for 2022. According to the document, during the last year, the total income of the company increased by 3.5 million lari to 38.7 million lari. As of the company's report, 60% of Poultry Georgia's income is generated from Tbilisi market, while the rest from other regions of the country. In addition, over 30% of the egg sales market in Georgia accounts for Koda. The annual egg production capacity amounts to over 150 million eggs. The company sells these products in Tbilisi through its distribution service and in the regions through exclusive distributors. The distribution service consists of 22 crews. The number of employees in Georgia Poultry for the current period is 270 people, the company's management report says. Company Koda is located in Lilo settlement. As of the current data, the beneficial owner of the group is the joint stock company Poultry Georgia, which is registered in Cyprus. The assets of the company amounts to 25.8 million lari.
More on business. InSpark, under the leadership of CEO Serdar Susuz, stands as an authorized business partner of Salesforce, the globally acclaimed CRM and cloud computing solutions giant. With an impressive 30-year legacy across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, InSpark has etched its mark in the realms of innovation and business solutions. Today, in an exclusive interview, Serdar Susuz shares insights into the strategic vision and impactful contributions InSpark aims to bring to the Georgian market.
Serdar, thank you so much for visiting us and coming to PMG. It's a great honor hosting you in our studio.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Please tell us a bit more about InSpark itself, about the company profile, I mean the mission and activities. The latest and the previous one. Company is already over 30 years old, so it's a huge one.
Yeah, company is established in 1990 in London, but I joined InSpark in 2002.
Okay.
I'm an engineer by background, so I'm a technical person actually. And I started as a consultant.
Okay.
I worked on many projects. We were doing ERP projects that time around Europe, North Africa, and Near East.
Within the InSpark already.
As InSpark, yeah.
As InSpark.
And then I was doing also consultancy.
Mm-hmm.
And then our founder, Steven, asked me to join as a partner and then become a CEO of the company, And then everything changed. I mean, for me also it was an interesting journey because after I became responsible for all the operations, I said, okay, what are we going to do now? What's the purpose of InSpark? It was very early times actually. It was like 2005. And I, first of all, had my own journey during that time, but mainly we are aiming to help people, actually, trying to make people's life easier by helping corporate companies. So in another wording, let's say, we are helping companies, customers, to have better experiences. So that is what we are doing. When we started the journey, actually, we put customer in the center of everything, like Salesforce does, because we are implementing Salesforce. We are implementing solutions using Salesforce solutions, sales platform. And then just before the pandemic, we said, customer is good, but we have other stakeholders like employees,
okay.
like the third parties, partners. So we said, okay, let's put experience in the focus. And now we are trying to deliver the best experience for our customer, let's say. So that's what we are doing. And we define it by rich, consistent, and personalized experience. I'm saying that we have a lot of noise, right? Mm-hmm. As a person, as a consumer, we are under a lot of, we are receiving a lot of messages, marketing messages, other messages from companies, and it's a noise at the end. Too much noise.
You're trying to filter and calm down the situation with
We are trying to make it more personalized. Actually. We are trying to make it more rich. So that's what we are trying to do using technologies, today's technologies actually.
Okay. As you mentioned, your journey reached Georgia. We are here in Tbilisi. Tell me about the purpose, why are you here, and how your team, pointed out Georgia as a next destination of your journey and interest.
Yeah, InSpark currently started the journey in UK.
Okay.
Then we became very successful in many countries, but we grew a lot in Turkey. We established an office in Dubai, so we are also serving Middle East, and we have an office in US, California. Now we have an office in Germany, in Munich, and we see Georgia as a gate to all this region actually, all the countries around the region. So that's why we became a partner. We also targeted Georgian markets. And we saw that there is a certain level of maturity in Georgia when we spoke with the companies. Yeah. That's also important.
Yeah, by the way, you mentioned, and that's going to be my next question, can we simplify it as you precisely did in regards of InSpark profile, how Georgian companies, how local market will benefit after you will begin your practical steps and doing all the approaches and things you're planning doing in Georgia. Let's leave behind the great aim, what is Georgia, considering Georgia as a hub, which is a fantastic news, but at the same time, how Georgian companies will benefit as soon as they will be aware after our interviews that InSpark is already in Georgia.
We call it actually democratization of technology. So we currently have customers with a few users and with thousands of users, even 10,000s of users. So small companies and also big companies, let's say in terms of size, can benefit both from our technologies, from our solutions. And when they implement our solutions, they become more customer oriented, they become more experience oriented. What I can tell you actually, experience is the only thing that you can differentiate these days. Because whatever product you produce, whatever service you give, they can be replicated, they can be copied by others. But experience is the most difficult part of your business that can be copied. So everyone should actually focus on experience. And to manage the experience of people, you can't do it without technology, because the number of people you reach, the complexity of those experiences, the channels that you reach to your customers. 2 years ago, the total number of channels that we get customer information was 10. Today, it became 18 after 2 years. So the channels are also growing. So that means you have to be consistent on all those channels. Otherwise, what happens? Otherwise, the trust is lost. When trust is lost, there is no business, there is no sales, there is nothing actually. So that is how they can benefit. By the way, in terms of industries, there's a wide range of industries, but I see there is telecom, finance, wineries here, betting companies,
Gambling,
a lot.
correct.
So we retail. So we can focus on all those industries. In California, there are hundreds of thousands of wineries. You know, they are famous with that, and more than half of them are using Salesforce.com platform. So it's so successful. I mean, it helps them. Even depending on the business model, but in Georgian market, I think the wineries can benefit a lot from Salesforce.com. For betting companies, again, the similar situation. In Las Vegas, in Malta, in Macau, lot of places.
As examples, what you cover in these countries and areas.
More than 50% of the market share for customer service, for example, for sales, for as a customer platform, Salesforce has a big market share in the world.
So now, how can your presence simplify the life of SMEs? They are actually crucially important in all the countries, let me say so, and Georgia cannot be exemption. Can you evaluate a sort of sample what you just was doing in pointing, industries coming from California wineries to, I don't know, gambling or retail. For SMEs, how InSpark, based on Salesforce, can simplify their routine?
We have a specific team for SMBs, first of all. So there's a team of people at InSpark who are helping SMBs. They have different dynamics, as you say. They are trying to grow, they are trying to, at the same time, they are trying to earn money. There are startups inside, there, many things. But the crucial part of this, actually, I can say two important things. First, you have to focus on your business. Technology should be an enabler for SMBs. Otherwise, you stop your work, or you start working or spending time on technology, the problems of the technology, right? So our solutions are on the cloud. So it is there. It's like using Google, it's like using Facebook, and they can just use it. The same solution is used by Trendyol. The same platform is used by Coca-Cola. The same solution is used by, Bank of Georgia. So, and SMBs can benefit from that technology, high quality technology. And second thing is, when you have this type of platform, the innovation is easier because it's centralized. Salesforce innovates and you use as a customer. So that is what we give to SMBs also. It is difficult sometimes for them to catch the technology, catch the speed. Speed is really, really important now. The world is continuously changing, and I'm not scared about it. A lot of people are scared. But the problem is the speed of it.
Yes.
We are talking about things that we were not talking 9 months ago, 10 months ago. So it is currently so fast. And you have to focus on your business, focus on your customers, the experience, rather than focusing on technology. So that we are enabling them to use that technology.
For the conclusion of our conversation, very simple question, dear Serdar. Does it mean that InSpark entering Georgian market is equal that Salesforce is putting its own flag and entering Georgian market as well?
Yeah, because we are representing Salesforce here. We are a reseller of Salesforce here. We are implementing Salesforce here. Salesforce is global, but now we are
now it's official.
And we started investing Georgian markets. In the past, maybe some companies could go and buy Salesforce, our services. We are in over 20 countries at the end, but now we start investing in Georgia.
And you're here.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Thank you very much for
And please update us about all the achievements and about all the reaching all the goals what you planned here in Georgia and the region. Good luck.
Sure. Thank you very much.
New investors, new opportunities are pivotal for Georgia's economic growth, especially when all the international outlooks show that 2G development in the country is slowing and growth rates get closer to the usual levels, 4 to 5% annually. When thinking about what could drive investors to invest more in Georgia, one answer definitely is transparency. BARTA Annual Report and Transparency Award was established in 2019 as part of a joint project of financial engagement and accountability between the EU and the World Bank after the European Union launched a fundamental review of corporate reporting. The EU is committed to the sustainable transition of its economy. This demands that corporate sustainability reporting assumes equal prominence to financial reporting. Accordingly, the initiated Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive requires that from 2025 for the financial year 2024, some 50,000 large and listed European Union companies and many large non-EU companies with significant operations on the EU to publish sustainability reports using European sustainability reporting standards. Similarly, at global level, the International Sustainability Standards Board has issued its inaugural standards, IFRS S1 and IFRS S2, ushering in a new era of sustainability-related disclosures in capital markets worldwide. This year, BARTA, for the first time, opened to all first-category companies and groups, in addition to all companies that are public interest entities, including companies in the A and B listing categories, which have already applied. All companies listed on the exchange automatically participated in the evaluation. This includes companies that satisfy eligibility criteria, of course, namely an unqualified audit opinion and timely submission of all mandatory reporting applicable to the company's category. Before the big day Friday, December 15, when the companies finally find out who the winner is. The Checkpoints interviewed Adrian Fossart, practice manager for the governance global practice in Europe and Central Asia at the World Bank, about the Barta effect for companies and investment climate in general.
Well, Mr. Adrian, thank you for taking your time and taking our questions. Let us start with Barta itself and the need for Barta, need for transparency.
Well, Georgia is moving towards becoming a very competitive, digital, business-friendly and green economy. I mean, you've had very successful growth in 2020, 22, 10%, which is well above your peers. And growth is very critical for jobs and creating opportunities for everybody in Georgia. And the critical thing for creating jobs is to be able to invest. And the financial reporting is a critical tool for investors. It allows them to get information about what they're investing in. So the governance of the quality of governance of the companies where they're investing in, the sustainability of their finances, company performance, company risks, all information that helps investors make decisions. So Barta, the Best Annual Report and Transparency Award, seeks to try and encourage companies to implement good quality annual reports and improve the quality of financial information. So the Barta uses as an international standards, is compliant with the reviews are compliant with national legislation. They look at the narrative reporting, the quality of the financial and performance information presented, and the story behind the report. So the first report, Barta report, was issued the set of rewards were in 2019. At that time, we just looked at the listed companies. Since then, it's grown very well. It's quite sure there's a lot of growing interest. 2020, there was the first self-nominations. In 2022, we scored 17 companies, 6 of which were self-nominated. And now in 2023, there are 29 companies, and 12 of which are self-nominated. So there's a growing interest in this sort of the awards and companies trying to participate to demonstrate their good performance in this area.
So, Mr. Adrian, how would you assess these numbers that you have mentioned? What is the tendency over the years? Can we say that transparency is gaining momentum among businesses?
Yeah, I think so. I think companies are definitely showing more interest in participating. The quality of the reports is improving too. Obviously, when the reporting began, I think companies were a little cautious, one might say, hesitant, perhaps even afraid to provide information about their businesses. Some of them expressed concerns that competitors might misuse this information. But I think there's growing awareness amongst in the corporate sector that they really do need to provide good quality information if they're going to secure investors. And it's important about building trust with the public, investors, and particularly so in terms of if companies are trying to go public. I mean, there was a great case of one company, MBC, which is a microfinance institution, that received the Barta Honorary Award for small and medium companies back in 2021 and managed to go public this year on the Georgian stock market. So obviously, quality of reporting can have direct benefits to companies.
From this standpoint, Mr. Adrian, what would you say remains like a stubborn challenge, so to say?
Probably the way the companies don't provide frank information. They resort to boilerplate language that could be applied to any company. So the narrative about the corporate reporting doesn't really provide details that are specific to the company, of relevant information about unique circumstances and performance of the company. Makes the reports less engaging, difficult for readers to understand and interpret. It comes across a little bit as though companies are trying to hide something when they aren't frank in their assessments. And tell us that obviously the purpose of any report is to communicate. It's to tell a story. So what is the story? What are the challenges that the companies are facing? What's their trends in performance? What's their aspirations? And how are they performing against their goals?
What would you count as the most important achievement on this path towards transparency?
Well, I think obviously the growing participation and the quality of information provided by the corporate sector. I think the Service of Accounting, Reporting and Audit Supervision has played a very important role in this. It's provided an information platform that it provides information across the corporate sector. It's used by that platform is used by a diverse audience, international rating agencies, think tanks, the business community, the academia, investors. So obviously the broader availability of information through that platform has been very important. I think we've also seen the quality of the information presented improving. But that's based in terms of the number of reports, the company reports that are submitted without errors and then are sent direct back so that they're not sent back for correction and are published directly. So the proportion of companies that's providing results without errors is now 85% for medium enterprises and 91% for small enterprises. And that's excellent performance record. I think BARTA has contributed in some way to that because it's become recognized as a prestigious award for companies to aspire to and receive. And that's helped sort of foment the growing interest in this area.
Would you say that EU candidacy status and closer tie on the path towards the EU integration could also become a catalyzing factor in this need for more transparency?
Yes, I think absolutely. It's going to be the major driver in the years ahead. I mean, already the EU is the main trading partner of Georgia. It accounts for over 20% of trade. It's the main source of foreign direct investment. Accounts for about 50% of foreign investment. 21% comes from the EU. These are from the UK. These are and 8% from the United States. These are countries which have very high standards of financial reporting, and they will be looking for partners in Georgia that meet those standards. So if Georgia is to take advantage of its candidacy and future membership of the European Union, they will certainly need to meet EU's reporting standards for financial reporting, and that's going to be important for market access and in order to be able to negotiate and financial markets and mobilize investors.
All of us would like to hear, obviously, what are your recommendations on the one hand to BARTA, its team, and on the other to the policymakers?
Well, I think one of the big challenges going forward is going to be around the issue of corporate sustainability reporting. The EU directive from January 23 requires all EU companies to comply with corporate sustainability reporting standards. That's 50,000 large and listed companies across the European Union. And it's going to be increasingly important for trading partners to comply with those same sustainability reporting requirements. That's a huge challenge. It requires new sets of skills for companies, new challenges as well in terms of the quality of reporting that will be needed. So I think really in terms of the standards within Georgia that will need to align with those reporting requirements for sustainability reporting. So at this point, Georgia really needs to be thinking about how they prepare for this new challenge. Some kind of country action plan will be needed on sustainability reporting to work out how this will be implemented in the Georgian context, how this will be applied in terms of national standards. For the businesses, I think the big challenge is just to be authentic, to to be realistic and share a good story about your company. Provide good evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Please.
So no, I think for most companies, what you really need to do is prepare a good story that shows your achievements, shows your successes, but is also honest and transparent about challenges that you face. This is particularly important for investors. They need to have an understanding of what's going well and where there are risks. And honesty is always, and transparency is always the best practice. Ultimately, information comes to light. It's better that this information is disclosed by corporate partners. So we encourage companies to really focus on the quality of their reports and ensure that they're timely, factual, and tell a good story.
So can we say that tell a good story is the main message that you want to leave from this interview for the businesses today?
Yes, I think so. I mean, my colleagues would, in their notes for me, said make a good narrative. But I think it's better said as a story. You know, tell the story of your company, what it's doing today, how it's performing, what the issues you're facing, and what the challenges are for the future. That information is absolutely essential for investors. Letting investors know what your company is and how it's performing helps you mobilize new resources. That is the story.
Exactly, and let me say that the story is also important for us, for media representatives. Thank you so much, Mr. Adrian, for this very interesting interview, and thank you for taking your time.
What was new in the economy this week? Here is our close-up.
The foreign direct investments in Georgia amounted to $316 million in Q3 2023, according to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia. According to the document, foreign direct investments in Georgia in Q3 2023 down by 61.5% from the adjusted data of Q3 2022. Reduction of the amount of debt instruments and reinvestment are considered to be the main reason for the decline of foreign direct investments. Equity up 2.5% from the adjusted data of Q3 2022 and amounted to $590 million, and reinvestment was down by 30% from the adjusted data of Q3 2022 and amounted to $329.2 million. The United States was the major foreign direct investor country. The United Kingdom was the second, followed by Netherlands. The share of 5 largest investor countries is 58.7% of total investment. The largest share of foreign direct investments was registered in the financial and insurance activities sector in Q3 2022. Transport sector was the second, followed by the information and communication sector. The share of the 5 largest economic sectors is 77.3% of total investment. By the decision of National Bank of Georgia, advertising of loans secured by pensions is banned without the individual consent of the pensioners. In addition, the said change will apply to those pensioners whose sole income is pension or other state social allowance. By the decision of the National Bank, commercial banks will not be able to advertise pension-secured loans. So, share content that would offer a loan to customers on the basis of pension or other social payments. The purpose of change is protecting the so-called vulnerable groups from uniformed decision-making and debt burden. This will support the information of an environment favorable to consumers and introduce a high standard of protecting their rights. Georgian Education Minister Giorgi Amilahwari announced during a briefing at the government administration that teacher salaries will increase from 2024. The minister emphasized the government's commitment to improving the salary policy for teachers, stating that there has always been an increase of about 200% in teacher salaries under the current administration. A new salary formula is being developed, and the minister assured that new policy would result in substantial salary increase for all teachers. Why from the 1st of July? Because it's necessary to switch the system to new salary policy, and this can be done during the academic year. Accordingly, as soon as the academic year ends, from the 1st of July, a new salary system will be implemented, noted Georgi Amilakhwari. Irakli Garibashvili, Prime Minister of Georgia, met with Joshua Hook, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Department. Meeting led within the government administration was focused on discussion of the strategic partnership agenda between Georgia and United States of America, along with review of steps aimed at solidifying and deepening the current cooperation in various areas. Irakli Garibashvili and Joshua Hook discussed the progress achieved by Georgia towards EU integration. The visiting dignitary congratulated the head of the government on the positive decision of the European Commission recommending the status to the country. As the Prime Minister of Georgia noted, the ultimate positive decision is now expected from the European Council on granting the actual status of the EU candidate country to Georgia. According to him, EU integration is one of the key priorities of the foreign policy pursued by government of Georgia. The monetary and credit policy of National Bank of Georgia ensures price stability in the medium term, which will increase the stability of Georgian economy against potential shocks and contribute to the stable and long-term growth of the economy. Natia Turnava, the acting president of the National Bank, said while giving a report to the Finance and Budget Committee. According to her, inflation will remain at a low level in 2023 and it will stabilize at the target level of 3% in 2024. Low inflation is the result of lower inflationary expectations and decreased local inflation amid tight monetary policy. Also, during the last 1 year, the strengthening of lari exchange rate together with gradual reduction of effects of external shocks significantly contributed to the decrease of imported inflation and led to the decrease of total inflation, noted Natia Turnava. According to her, as of November 2023, total inflation is 0.1% and base inflation is 1.8%. According to the current macroeconomic forecast of the National Bank, until the end of 2023, inflation will remain below the target rate of 3%. Finally, in the medium term, inflation will stabilize around this 3% target. It's worth noting that the ratio of credit activity to GDP is lower than the trend. The Georgian Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Economy Levan Davitashvili stated that change in the commercial gas tariff will not cause a bread price rise. Davitashvili clarified that price change in the commercial part of gas, which is not a regulated tariff, depends on international petroleum product prices. This change does not directly affect the public but may have an indirect effect on inflation. Gas prices have seen fluctuations, and despite the current increase expected in January, there have been more significant reductions over the years, Davitashvili said. He assured the population that there are no preconditions for bread price rise. Large bread baking companies have special conditions and no other factors are prompting an increase in bread prices, including those tied to gas prices. The impact on inflation has been assessed as insignificant, the Vice Premier added. Natural gas price will increase for non-household customers in Tbilisi as well as in the regions from January 1, 2024. Tbilisi and regional gas distributor companies Tbilisi Energy and Socargaz made relevant decisions. From January 1, 2024, the price of 1 cubic meter of natural gas for commercial customers of Sokar Georgia Gas and Sakorgaz will be 1.29 lari, including VAT. The natural gas tariff for commercial subscribers of Telavgaz will be set at 1.29 lari. The price of gas remains unchanged for those bread-producing companies which are included under the state wheat flour subsidy program. The household tariff set by the National Energy and Water Supply Regulatory Commission of Georgia also remains unchanged.
And that's all for today. We will meet next Sunday, 11 a.m. sharp. But before that, my advice stays the same. Follow us on BM.G for more updates on business and economics in Georgia, in region, in the US, and beyond.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.